Yay! Hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it happens to be for you. Um, this is Kelsey. This is Igniting Insight. We're doing our Gemini new moon reading. I have to say, I feel um, a little strange about this one this time around. I've been doing full moon and new moon readings, just energy updates, looking at the astrology, kind of putting it all into a bi-weekly live for the last couple months, and we're actually a little bit past the exact point of the new moon. It looks like it was exact around 11 a.m. Pacific time, so that doesn't really mean the energy has stopped. It's still kind of working on us. Um, but yeah, and I just kind of want to call myself in that I did put in a couple of posts that I've done over the last couple weeks, that I was gonna do this live stream at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and we're hitting here almost 8 p.m. So I do apologize for missing that mark. It just did not unfold today as I wanted. But here I am, and we're gonna still do the reading. And so I was kind of channeling, I was actually just talking out loud in my car, as I do probably too often, but I think it's fine. It's a good thing to me. And I was kind of just like channeling the energy of this new moon, because I was like, I really just don't, I'm not feeling it. I'm not sure what this is. I've been feeling interesting energies, but I guess I think Gemini is one of the signs that I'm not super close with. I mean, I have a good understanding of all of the signs, but when I don't have that personal element with it, sometimes it's harder for me to really get into the energy. So I did that, as I was driving today, and that really helped me kind of feel into what this is about. So, um, Gemini is a mutable air sign. So, um, as mutable air, that means that, air is the element of the mind and communication, logic, knowledge, learning, all of this stuff kind of that we do mentally. And the mutable signs are all about kind of shifting and change. It's kind of the in-between energy. And so I feel like this new moon could be bringing a lot of us um, like new ideas, what I was really getting is like new belief systems and new ways of thinking. And we are deeply in retrograde season. I wanted to talk about a couple more of the planets that are in retrograde today, because I think I only talked about Pluto last time. So um, you can still find the replay of the last full moon video on my Facebook page, Igniting Insight Intuitive Guidance, as well as in my group, Soul Purpose Empowerment. And if you're on Instagram, you can find the links to those on my profile. Because that one we really went in depth with the Pluto retrograde, and I really feel like there was a lot of good information and insight in there as far as what we're going to be feeling really until October of this year when Pluto goes direct again. So it's a big collective opportunity to do some shadow work, which is something that I really love and really passionate about, and so it was really fun to kind of speak into that. But now we also have Jupiter retrograde, Saturn retrograde, and Venus retrograde. And I believe I thought maybe Mars was going retrograde soon, but I'm not quite seeing that yet. I could be wrong. So really, I'm going to touch on some of these energies specifically. I'm not going to touch on all of them probably, but it's retrograde season. And what's a retrograde? A retrograde is a time for us to reflect. It's a time for us to slow down and to reassess. And this is happening in many areas of our life. And so what I'm getting with this Gemini new moon is it's really an opportunity to reassess our belief systems and the way that we're thinking. And especially with, the current cultural climate that we're in right now, where there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of differing belief systems out there. There's a lot of people saying different things. And the retrograde, and also, this kind of social isolation we still have a lot of places, they're both giving us an opportunity to sit with ourselves, maybe go into a meditative state and, tune into your own inner truth about what you believe to be true. Sometimes, especially kind of, it's funny to think about what the world was like a few months ago and how things have really slowed down, for better or for worse. But even like things like traffic on the street is just not the same in the city where I live as it used to be. And of course, things, could change and that could go back to the way that it was. But for now, it's clear that the way that we were living before was very fast paced. And we all kind of knew that, but not a lot of us took the time to really, I guess, reflect on that and to really feel into the effects of that because we didn't know any different. So now that we are being shown something different, I feel like it's an opportunity to reflect on some of those thoughts, those thought patterns and belief systems that maybe were on autopilot when life was really fast, and figure out if those are still true for us. You know, one thing that comes to mind that I'm sure a lot of us can relate to is like this idea of like, we need to work harder to get further in our lives. Like hard work, hard work is required to make it in this world. And there's a lot of people out there that either don't have the opportunity to work hard right now, they don't have the space. It's just a different atmosphere. There's different contexts around us where some of these automatic thoughts don't make sense. So maybe you're someone that had that belief and you're finding that your life has slowed down, and maybe there's something else for you to learn in this slowdown period. So it's going to be really personal, and that's just kind of the overall energy of the moon that I was getting. I have my cards today. I don't always bring these to these moon readings, but I did want to pull cards today because this is really going to be an intuitive process for all of us. And this will give some guidance to whoever ends up tuning into this. If you are here, let me know. And if you're watching the replay, let me know as well. I'd love to know kind of who's seen this, and if you have any questions, always you can leave them below. But I just kind of want to get like, what do we need to know about, the current energies? And really, this will be the live for the next, for the energies unfolding over the next 2 weeks is what we're going to look at. And also, I'd love you guys to let me know, if you are watching, what do you want to see more of on these platforms? I'm trying my best to be as consistent as possible with what I'm able to do and building on that. And so I really want to know, like, what is useful, what are you interested in? What do you want to know more about? In the Facebook group, we're really going to start talking more about, what does it mean to look for our soul purpose, and how, we're going to start talking about some ways that I've learned to kind of tune into that and hone in on that, and be a little bit more specific and kind of go beyond the readings. But I know people really liked when I was doing kind of like answering questions, and people tuned in for that. But I just want to know kind of what lands for you. So we have Ace of Wands reversed, it kind of flipped around, but it did end up reversed, so we'll take it that way. I'm going to pull 3 cards, and I'm going to kind of take the message together, but the Chariot reversed. One more, okay. Okay, and the Lovers. So, yeah, really interesting. Pretty clear, actually, of a reading. So the first message that I got that wanted to come through intuitively for the Ace of Wands reversed is really this idea of, it's like we could be having new creative ideas, new inspirations coming to us, and they're kind of like bubbling up from the inside is how I'm getting it. And it could feel like there's a lot of energy that you'd like to be putting out there, but it's just really not quite the time for that. We're really being asked to slow down. I mean, the Chariot is about forward movement, and coming in reverse, it's really about pulling back and slowing down. And I guess, like, to share from my own life, you know, I've started to get a lot more clarity and focus around actually starting a business and creating something with the work that I'm doing, you know, creating this foundation. And I do have a lot of ideas that keep bubbling up and things that I want to be sharing, but the call within my soul is just to really slow down and like keep kind of pulling back, keep tempered. It's really about like tempering ourselves. So Lovers is here to remind us, you know, first off about balance. And also I'm getting about self-care. So it's like, take care of you first. And like I say, like, I understand, I recognize, and I think a lot of us do, we're in intense transformational times. Like, this is not the normal, right? This is not what we're used to. And so the point is not to try to do things the way that we used to try to do them. That's kind of what I meant to say when I was talking about, you know, work harder. It's really not about working harder. It's about working smarter. But even that has this energy of like, I still need to do something. Like, I need to be taking action. I need to be doing. But really what I'm getting from this reading and what I've been picking up intuitively, what I've been getting for my own messages is like, let those ideas keep bubbling up and, you know, journal about them, take notes on them, you know, dive into them, let them percolate, like let them kind of start to take form. I mean, the aces are just about the inspiration of something before they've even really taken form. And that's totally okay to be in, especially with this Gemini new moon, this mutable air sign new moon. I mean, new moons are all about beginnings, right? And the mutable air of Gemini is just about, you know, really starting to stir things up and starting to wake up to new ideas and realize that things can change. And the clearer we can be on what's really important to us, here's where I'm going to go into Venus retrograde, right? Venus is retrograde in the sign of Gemini as well. Venus is the sign of love, yes, but it's also the sign about what we need and our values. So it's a good time to reflect on that. What is it that we need? What is it that we really desire for ourselves? What are our values? What fulfills us? What's gonna really like fill up our cup? What do we need to feel satisfied? What do we need to feel happy? You know, what are those things for you? Is it, you know, having a really close-knit group of friends around you that you can, like, you know, always trust to like go out and have a good time? Or is it, you know, having space to yourself every day to like read a good book? Or is it, you know, making sure that you always have time to go out into nature and like go on long hikes? Or, you know, what is it for you? And it could be something like that where it's like a self-care ritual or something that we need to do for ourselves, something that we need to have, or like a way of being. You know, is your lifestyle lining up with your values? Are you eating the way you want to be? Are you exercising the way you want to be? Are you being with family the way you want? Are you working the way you want? Like, and just let the inspiration start to come. We can really get caught up in like wanting to change things really quickly when things don't feel like they're fitting us quite right, when we have kind of this, you know, existential crisis moment of realizing that the way that we've been living or the things that we've been thinking aren't in alignment with us anymore. But it can be like a slow process of letting those things go and then allowing and seeing what emerges from them. And again, that's just really what I'm seeing in these cards, and also what Venus retrograde is calling us to do. And right now, it's interesting that Venus and Mercury are right together. So, and in the sign of Gemini, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury and Gemini are all about, again, the mind, communication, you know, your way of thinking. So this is such a good time to like write about, journal about, talk about these things that are going on for you. If you have a trusted person in your life that you can talk to about kind of, you know, I'm starting to think this, or I'm starting to feel this, or, you know, and just like kind of be able to bounce those ideas off of someone, that's great. Or if you don't have that, or if you're more of a, you know, you want to kind of do this process internally without reflecting it off of someone, you know, journal about it, write about it, you know, start getting your creative juices flowing into just written medium. Anything that has to do with communication is going to be great. And I guess just to go more deeply into this Lover's card, again, what I got initially is about self-care. Hi, Adrian. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's been forever. Here I am. Yeah, go back and watch the rest of this if you want to, if you have a chance. I'm curious to hear some feedback if you're called to do that. And it's so nice to see you again. Just yeah. But yeah, the Lovers I'm really getting for like self-care right now, but it is also about balance. So I'd be really curious to know, you know, whoever's watching the replay, let me know what's going on for you. What in your life feels like, is there an area of your life that's feeling difficult to balance or out of balance, or are things coming into balance for you? Like, is there anything that kind of you've been maybe working on or working towards or feeling into for a long time that's kind of feels like it's falling into place? And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just curious, like, where is balance coming in for you? And then how can we bring more like self-love, self-care into the picture to enhance that balance even more? And if you're kind of feeling out of balance, which I know a lot of us are, you know, how can we really focus inward? What do we need? And, you know, nourish ourselves and give ourselves what we need. The other thing that's coming through with this card is really just remembering. I could do a whole another live on this, and I will. This is like what's been reverse Ace of Wandsing through me is like these ideas and these thoughts and reflections about just how can we be more loving towards humanity during this time of crisis that we're in, and how can we transmute all of the fear that we are experiencing and that we're seeing around us, and bring more love into the picture. And I have a beautiful, I've had this beautiful opportunity to be surrounded by this wonderful group of women through through a women's circle. I'm going through a program to learn how to lead my own circles, and I will be sharing all the information about that very soon. The first circle is going to be on June 21st. It's a Sunday, sometime in the evening. So if you're interested, if you feel called, if you are craving connection, it's going to be a virtual circle. It's still being planned, but it's such a powerful container to be held within. My experience of it has just been phenomenal, being in my own circle, and I can't wait to bring that to others. And it's really like giving me a great mirror and reflection of like who I am at my core, and like knowing that I was someone that wanted to like bring more love in to the world, to people's lives, to the people that I touch and contact. But then like having that reflected back to me through all of these other women, like that's the biggest feedback I keep getting, is like, you're just like a big ball of love. You just like emanate love. Like your medicine is love. And I'm like, that is so beautiful. I love that. Adrian, I would love to have you. I'll definitely send you information as soon as I kind of have it put together. But I'll put you on my list of people to reach out to for sure. But yeah, so just how can we be more loving, and just expect more resources about that from me, because I really feel like that is my medicine. That is what I can offer and what I can help with in a big way, and I just feel really grateful and honored to do that. So I think I'm gonna stop there. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. There's definitely like more retrogrades to talk about. There's more stuff going on in the sky. If you're curious about anything specific, always let me know. But I feel like I'm here to just kind of reflect back what's needed in the moment when I'm doing these lives, and kind of what I'm picking up on energetically, intuitively. So I think the Venus retrograde is definitely something I wanted to talk about, as well as the new moon, of course. And just again, like, how can we be more loving? How can we nurture ourselves? And how can we just let things be for now? Let things be for a little while. So I hope this served you. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if you have any other thoughts. And I will be live again in 2 weeks on the next full moon, if not sooner, but definitely on the next full moon. And then you can catch my Tuesday posts. I pull a card of the week on Tuesdays, Tarot Tuesdays, and give kind of a general message, energy update, kind of intuitive guidance through there as well. And there'll be more information about the circle coming up too. So super excited for all of that, and I can't wait to connect with you again soon. Bye, Adrian. Bye, everyone. Namaste.